So when I was in college, I did what what most people do that age, and I split off from my parents' insurance policy and got one of my own, and it was a carbon copy of what my parents had. And for the next probably 10 years, I didn't have a single conversation with my agent at the time about coverage. Now, I happen to have had a very good insurance policy. My dad was a working professional, had a family to take care of, and so he had good insurance. Uh, I never actually used that policy, which is the best way to have an insurance policy, to never use it. But I never used it. I wasn't in an accident one time in that time period, but it was not at fault, and so the other company paid out. But the problem is not that I would be covered if I was in an at-fault accident. The problem was actually that I'd be overcovered. I was a college student or immediately after college, and I didn't have any assets to protect. I lived in an apartment and didn't really have anything to my name, and was just barely getting by. Except I had this massive insurance policy that I didn't really need all of it. And had I had that conversation with my agent, I probably could have saved hundreds of dollars a year. I mean, the truth is that our insurance needs to change over time. When you're a college student, you need a certain level of protection, but it's not the same level of protection as you will need when you do have a young family, when you have a good paying job, and it's also not the same amount of protection that you're going to need when you're retired and have grandkids and that sort of thing. As our lives change, so do our needs. As our level of comfort and our circumstance changes, so do our insurance needs. And this is exactly why I, as an agent, am so adamant about annual insurance reviews. The whole point of the annual insurance review is to take a look at the changes that have gone on in your life and to see if that needs a corresponding change in your insurance. Sometimes no change is needed. Sometimes the level of coverage should decrease. Sometimes it should increase. But you should know what your insurance covers and how it's protecting you in this stage of your life, and if it is protecting you at this stage of your life. When I was working as an adjuster in claims, I cannot tell you how many times I had to explain to customers what coverage they had, because they had no idea. And I don't think it was because they were never told. But what I think happened was that they were told 10 years ago when they opened the policy. And, who's going to remember 10 years from now? Maybe they've never looked at it again. And for a lot of people, that was actually a really good thing, what I told them, because they had no idea they were covered for so much. For others, it wasn't good news. There were many times when, 10 years ago, their family had 3 cars, one they weren't really using. So, no, we don't need a rental car. Well, 10 years later, now the third car's gone, or it's, being used from that kid that was 6 when you opened the policy, and now it's 16. And now they really need a rental car and they don't have it. These are exactly the type of situations that we want to prevent with the annual insurance review. This really is an opportunity for you to make sure that you know what you're covered for, that you're comfortable with what you're covered for, and you know how we're going to protect you in the case of a claim. So once a year, send an email and make a call to my customers. And what I'm hoping is that my customers are not looking at that email or that caller ID going, "Oh no, I gotta talk to the insurance guy." Because insurance is not the most exciting topic in the world. But I do hope that you'll take a little bit of time with me to go over your coverages. It's a good time that you can use to ask me any questions that you have. It's also a good time for me to get caught up on your life, to make sure I know what it is that you're protecting so that I can find the best solutions for you. My questions are going to take 5-10 minutes. It's not going to take long. Your questions are going to take as long as you want them. That's what I'm here for. But this is a conversation that could save you a lot of worry and heartache in the future. Now, by all means, you do not need to wait until my email and my phone call to ask me questions. I'm here. I'm here 5 days a week. Shoot me an email, give me a call. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have or to take a look at your policy at any time during the year. It does not have to only be at your annual insurance review. If something has changed in your life, give us a call. It might not affect your policy. It might decrease it, might increase it. But we want to know, and we want to make sure that you're protected for anything that life might throw at you.